Do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You can start. They want you to start.
Who's they?
The fans.
The fans, okay.
Good morning, I'm Phil.
And I'm Alex.
I'm from the Southern Ukulele Store, and today we're here to talk to you about the Rebel ukuleles. We've got a selection of them here today, and Alex is going to run you through what we've got.
Okay, so the first thing to note is that there's a space here missing. So we're missing one model, which is the double cheese spruce top soprano. The rest of the range is here though. For the first time we've had all of them in one place, apart from that one and all that one. But if you do want to listen to the double cheese soprano, it is featured in another video we've done on Rebels that you can find in the description. So to start today, the four basic models we should look at are the cheesecake, the creme brulee, the double cream and the double cheese. The cheesecake being the spruce top one, the creme brulee being the mango, and then a slightly wider body one, the double cream, and then a slightly wider body one, the double cheese. So why don't you tell the people about the wood?
Okay, so other than the fact that they all sound delicious, not just by name, but
You only get away with that joke once in the video.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, so woods. On the cheesecake, which is the thin line concert with a long neck, it's the same for the soprano. So we have a spruce top and solid mahogany backing sides on both of these. I'll put this one back here.
No worries.
And that's going to give you, a very kind of interesting sound. On the soprano, you're going to get a nice attack. It's going to be nice and bright and snappy, but the mahogany is going to add some depth and some richness to it. They've got a remarkable sound for such a small instrument, especially with a thin body. They definitely have an extra sort of depth and resonance to them that will be surprising to you when you first try them. And then we've got the creme brulee model. So this is a thin line again. This is a mango wood, and we've got the same in the soprano over here. So when you and I saw these at the NAMM show earlier in the year, this was our kind of big moment for the whole mango movement thing that we kind of joked about.
Yeah, I mean we really hope the hashtag mango movement would catch on, but it has been a mango year. Like that ukulele at the NAMM show was the first uke we'd looked at in about 4 or 5 hours that had made us really get excited about being there. It's so exciting being at a big show, but you can get so flustered by all the noise.
Absolutely.
And just capturing the sound on that through the headphones. I was looking at you and you were like, this is great. And we were so excited to find out the affiliation between the Covaloa OPOs and the Rebel ukuleles. And the quality's just been top notch. Everything we've had so far has made me I wanted to own every uke we've had come in so far.
Absolutely. And then we get to the slightly larger kind of sibling. So this is the double cream. So you can see here that this one is deeper than the other. So in terms of depth, I'm going to reference the double cream is 6 centimetres, whilst the other one here, the thin line, is about 4.7.
Yeah, give or take.
Something like that.
See that centimetre difference, it makes a big difference in the sound. These are much brighter inherently, both this and the double cheese model. They've got more kind of attack, but the notes don't have quite as much bass to them. So these, to me, if you're playing in an ensemble, I feel like the thin line would be a really, really good ukulele. But if you need to be a bigger, deeper player, either in an ensemble or solo, then the thicker one will suit you just fine. The thin line ukulele is just a bit bigger than a Kala Travel uke. So if anyone's ever seen a Kala Travel uke, these are just a bit fatter than that. They fit incredibly comfortably to the body, and you don't lose any sound, as you'll hopefully hear in a moment. Yeah, just a great uke. I mean, I don't know if we talked about the scale length. This is a 17-inch scale tenor neck on a concert body, but due to the thin nature of the cheesecake and the creme brulee, you get a completely unique sound. You get something it manages to tick off some of the attributes of a soprano, a concert and a tenor all at the same time. Yeah, this is a real Swiss Army knife ukulele. I look forward to you all hearing the sound samples of each model in a moment, because what you'll find, hopefully, like me, is that you don't have a favourite. You like them all. It's just deciding which one you like most. You know, whereas sometimes in these comparison videos there are instruments that you're distinctly not going to like more than others. I think the Rebels all hold their own. They've all got a place in your collection, but you can't own them all. Maybe you can. If you can, please do give us a ring on 01202430820. What have we missed? With the spec, the ebony fingerboard and bridge, the inlays.
Yeah.
The tuners as well.
Yeah, so on the tuners, it's sort of the planetary style Goto.
Yeah, they're the real deal. They're the Goto, the real deal Goto planetary tuners. They're about 60 quid a set. It's a high end ukulele at a kind of mid to high price point. So these are made in Thailand. The Rebel are quite a quirky company. You can tell by the names. We've looked at the particle ukuleles before. We're going to look at them again in a moment. But for the time being, let's take a look at the standard models, the cheesecake, creme brulee, double cream and the double cheese. You can skip ahead to this point in time now and listen to us talk about the particles, but if you are listening to the whole video, we'll be back in a moment. Right, well, I hope you enjoyed the Rebel Standard models, but on to something a little bit more special and a bit more unique now. This is the Rebel Particle, which I've talked about before in a video, but I think now we've had 5 or 6 of them in stock, I understand the model a bit better than I did a few months ago. The particles change from one delivery to the next because they are changing the spec from one delivery to the next. If you imagine they're building this instrument and they cut a spruce top, they're not going to throw half the spruce top in the bin. They're going to cut it in half, put them in 2 piles, and then as they assemble and build these instruments, you're going to end up with opposite sides on different models. So I'm going to talk about this particle first, and then Phil's going to talk about that one. This is the split where the cedar is on the bass side, the spruce is on the treble side, but you also have a solid ebony back with Padauk sides and a side sound hole. The next mahogany, that's the same on both, but you have a split ebony and Padauk fingerboard as well. and it would be great to know how that affects the sound. We're never really going to truly know that because the tops on them are different too. But these instruments sound profoundly different to my ear. And there's a fantastic video from the Great Ukulele site where I hear Tobias Eloff playing 2 of these. And I had a distinct favourite that day, but my ear says differently today in the flesh. So the reason I chose this instrument is because I felt like the ebony had a bit more, maybe a slightly harder back to it, and it pushes the sound out a bit more. This one clipped the microphone the first time we pressed record. This one's a little bit softer, but yeah, it'd be interesting to know the difference between the cedar on the bass, spruce on the treble, and what that ebony back does. And what one do you have there?
So I have the polar opposite. So I have the spruce on the bass side, I have the cedar on the treble side, I have ebony sides on this one and a Padauk back, Padauk binding, and then, as Alex said, the mahogany neck is the same on both. And the split on the fretboard is the opposite way around as well. So I have an ebony treble side, Padauk bass side. I think you captured it really well actually. There's a real difference, and yeah, we agree that the back is largely to play. The ebony back and the Padauk back respond differently in terms of how they help with the projection of the instrument. The Padauk is kind of giving it a sort of softer feel, a slightly mellower touch. They are similar, but you're really kind of picking out the nuances of each note and each kind of how everything kind of behaves really in terms of every note that you play.
I've been desperately trying to find the words for what that back sounds like. I think the Padauk back sounds most like mahogany to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think of actually that's based on the Rebels we've been playing. So the mahogany on the back of the Cheesecake model, it softens up the spruce top a bit, and maybe that's the case with this because the bass is not quite as pronounced on that model that you've got there. Cedar is a really responsive, really cheeky wood. Like if you play, if you play aggressively on a cedar top model, you notice it more. So with the low G there, and the spruce in the bass, I think it tightens things up. It's not quite so growly, and we're probably sounding like we have favourites here. I think if I had to pick a favourite, I prefer the ebony backs because the Padauk's a bit unusual, but they're both just so bloody good. They're both so great, and they're not going to be around forever as well. This isn't a model that Rebel are going to be making forever. This is in their limited edition models on their website, and they've had many different limited edition models over the years that we can't get now. So I think the Particle is a pet project of the head luthier over there at Rebel, and you should definitely snap one up while you can. I forgot to mention, mine's got the ebony binding. You said about the Padauk binding. Two completely different ukuleles. Phil's going to play them both so you can hear the benefit of the side sound hole from the top. And just tell us which one's your favourite in the comment section. Okay, so you've heard the two particles now, and you heard the Standard Rebels in the first half of the video. But let's be frank, the real question is, which is your favourite, me or Phil? If you have any questions, give us a call on 01202 430 820, or you can email me at the shop at alex@ukulele.co.uk. It would be really interesting to know which models you guys preferred. I think I'd have them all if I could. There's not an instrument here today that I didn't think, oh yeah, I could trade this in and get that. I'll do that. But
One of each size.
That's just me in a nutshell. Once again, it's Phil, I'm Alex, and we'll see you again on the other side.